Hey, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Remy, and today I want to show you how to use CloudFormation templates in AWS. CloudFormation templates are part of a tool or of a stack called infrastructure as code. What that really means is as opposed to logging to your AWS console and clicking buttons to deploy resources, whether it's an EC2 instance or otherwise, you can just script or code it by having a JSON or a YAML file, which what that means is that you can use that to deploy all of your entire infrastructure, all your resources in any AWS account. So as opposed to having to go in and create it manually, the great thing about this is that you can deploy all your resources in your environment, and if you want to delete your resources, you can delete it as well using from the CloudFormation stack or from the CloudFormation interface, which I would show you. So, all right, all the code for this is my GitHub repository, which you can point to. It's a very simple way to do this, and I'll show you how to do this right now. But before we start, quick word from our sponsors. This video is brought to you by CLIQKI. CLIQKI is an influencer marketing platform based in West Africa, currently in Nigeria, in Ghana, and also in Kenya, where brands can create more awareness for their product or service, or using influencers, or where influencers can make money simply for doing what they do, which is to engage with their audience online, but they're just sharing content on behalf of brands. All right, so I'll quickly show you how this works. So if you log into the AWS console, what we're going to do is we're going to use CloudFormation to deploy an EC2 instance, and we're also going to use CloudFormation as well to deploy an AWS backup process. So I'll just show you how it works. We will create an EC2 instance, and then we will also create a daily backup plan that would back up this EC2 instance, the entire EC2. So if you go to the AWS documentation, which is what I like about AWS, is a lot of documentation. This really just shows you exactly how you create a template or a CloudFormation template. You can either do it in JSON, and you can do it in YAML. Either is fine. It's just the syntax or the way the syntax is structured is just different depending on whether you use JSON or whether you use YAML. So this is really for the EC2 and also for the AWS backup. What we're going to be doing is we're going to create a backup vault, a backup plan, and resource assignment. So you can see what that looks like this. This is just an example of what the template will look like. You define your backup vault, also define the backup plan, and the selection name. I'll show you what this means. The expression, this cron expression just tells you exactly what time, day you want your jobs to run that will create your backup. So if you log into the AWS console, just to show you exactly what we're trying to do, what this will create for you is really a backup vault. I'll show you how something here already I've created, which is your backup vault. In this area where it says recovery points is whenever you take a backup of your instance, your recovery points will show here. I'll show you what that means. And then you also define a backup plan. So as you can see, this is my backup plan. You define a backup rule. As my rule is daily backup rule. I'm saying take it every single day. This is what this expression means. As you can see, start at 8 hours, end with 7 days, complete within 7 days, and run it around this time, which is 12 p.m. UTC. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. And what else? Oh, I think 7 p.m. Eastern. Then also, we'll show you what is also important. If you look at your backup, where is it? Backup plan. Yep, selection rule. So what I'm saying here is, I'm saying for my EC2 instance, let me make this bigger. It will use this IAM row, and then it will also back up the entire EC2 instance, which means to back up your volumes, create a snapshot of your volumes, and then back up the entire instance and create like an AIM. All right, all this, pretty much all the code that I'm going to use is going to be here in my repo. So based on what we have here from AWS documentation, I've defined my EC2 instance, just using this same structure. This is my CFT for my EC2 instance. What you just need to do is change. You define a subnet, you define what's an AMI, and then also a security group. To figure out what AMI you use is just really simple. All you just have to do is go into your AWS console. You click on EC2s, and then you go to AMIs, pretty much AMI catalog. And then what I'm going to use is the Amazon Linux 2. And so this is the AMI, for example. So you just copy this, and then you place this here for your AMI. For your subnet, you just have to check in your on your network. I'll put a link below because I'm not going to go to details about networking. I'll put a link below of a video that I saw that really helped to understand at a very high level. So you just define what your subnet is, and then your security group. That's all you're going to have to change in this EC2 YAML file. And also for your backup plan, which is, you can just use this as is. The only thing that you can change is you just specify your account number here. And so for the backup plan, you see we define a vault, define a backup plan name, selection name, and the rest. So it's really just really straightforward. I'll leave the link to my GitHub repo, which you can just download this. And like I said, all you just need to do is put your account number here and we're good to go. All right, so I'll show you how this works. All right. So I'm going to show you how this works real quick. As I mentioned, you have your EC2 instance and also a backup vault. So we're going to create a backup plan that is going to back up the EC2 instance that we're going to create. So what we'll do is we'll first create a backup. We'll create an EC2 instance using a CloudFormation template. Then we'll create a backup plan to back up that EC2 instance. Something that is very important to note in your backup plan is how this will work is we are going to tag our, we're going to back up any resource that has this tag, which says backup frequency is daily. And I'll show you how that works. So quickly, I'll show you how this works. So if you go to CloudFormation, right, you say create stack, you say with new resources. First, let's create the EC2 instance. So we say our template is ready. We said upload the template file, we choose a file. So we'll do the EC2 first. We'll open this. And then what you can do is you can say view with designer. It just shows you what your instance looks like. Is you can validate to see if this template is fine. So these are the resource types, these are the components. Anyway, so this just shows you pretty much what it is that we're inputting, right? So let's go back and cancel this, and let's go ahead, leave this side, and use CloudFormation to create the EC2 instance. So what I'll just do is I'll first show you that we don't have any instances running currently. If you see, we have no instances that are running here. So I'll just use this to create my EC2 instance. I say view the resources, I say upload the template file, I choose YAML, then I say my test EC2 instance, open this up, I click on next, I create a name for my CloudFormation stack. I'll call it EC2 instance stack. Is a T2 micro, this is the subnet, security groups. It pretty much picks all these parameters from what I've defined in my EC2 instance, which is the same security group, the instance. One thing you also have to make sure you do is to create a key, which is, as you can see, I have my own key pair. Click on next. I don't add any tags. The default is to roll back. If the stack fails, you want to be able to delete all your resources, so you just leave it as default, and then you click on submit. And so the create is in progress. So if we just refresh this, as you can see, it's creating your instance based on the CloudFormation template. You know, as you can see, all I have to do is just upload a simple YAML file, and it's doing the creation for me. It's the creator of is assigning attaching the instance to a security group. It's adding the key pairs, it's doing all that good stuff, and I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is watch the stack run. That's the great thing about CloudFormation templates, is that I can create this instance multiple times in different environments. I can delete it when I'm not using it, and it's just really a great tool. On a side note, other tools you can use besides CloudFormation is Terraform, which is also a great tool, and Terraform is something I'll do a video on later. Great, sweet. So as you can see, my instance has been created, which is so cool. As you can see, my networking shows the subnet, which I defined, and everything looks good so far. Right, so I've created my EC2 instance. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my, my backup plan and my backup vault. So I do the same thing. I say create stack, I say resources, I say upload the template file, I choose a file, I pick up this, I say okay. The stack name will be backup stack. I call it AWS backup stack. My backup plan, all the parameters are defined in my CloudFormation template. I click on next. I don't add any tags. I click on next, and then I say submit. Sweet. And so I refresh this and watch as it goes. It's going to create in progress. It's creating. You see, it's still creating my daily backup plan. I refresh this. The create is complete. Sweet. So this stack has completed. So if I go to see, look at all my stacks, you see my backup stack is created and my EC2 instance is created. So this is my EC2 instance, which looks good. Let's see if it created my backup stack. I just simply go to AWS backup. And the great thing is I just go to backup plans. It's created my backup plan, which is sweet, just like we defined it. My backup selection, it picks up all my EC2 instances, and the backup is daily. All right, so that's pretty much it. So now what I've said in my backup plan, which is very important, is to look at this part that says my selection. It's going to back up any resource that has this tag backup frequency daily. So let's do that. Because if we go to our instances and we check out this instance that we deployed, you can see it doesn't have any tag that says backup daily. So it's not going to, if we leave it as is, backup, your backup is not going to back up this EC2 instance because there are no tags here that says backup frequency is daily. So what we just have to do is we go back to our stack, we go to our EC2 instance, we say update stack, we say use current template, we say next. It picks up the same things as before. So we say add new tag, we say backup frequency as defined in our resource assignment. Backup frequency, I didn't copy the B, should be daily. So I say backup frequency should be daily. I go back here, I say backup frequency for my EC2 instance should be daily, right? So I click on next. It still picks up the existing resources and I say submit. So it's updating my instance. I refresh, dash, refresh, updates in progress. Let's look at our stack. It's still updating. Refresh this. So it's updating the tag on the stack to say back up this EC2 instance daily. So if I have a whole bunch of resources that I want to back up, and it will back up based on that has this tag, you can see. So if I go to my instance and I refresh this, so I go and look at the tags on my instance, as you can see, it's tagged now that backup frequency is daily, which is so great. One thing to also note is that if you go to your AWS backup and you see settings, these are all the different resource types you can back up. You can back up EBS volumes, EC2s, EFS, FSX. Then you can also back up DocumentDB and even all your CloudFormation templates if you want to. You have to ensure that all this is enabled, which is what I should have said from the beginning. And if this is not, you have to do this from the AWS Organization Console. So that's pretty much it. As you can see, backup frequency is daily, and so this backup will run. And once this runs, all we just really have to do is we have to go to our backup vault, and then which we've defined, and all the backups will be right here in your backup vault, all the backups that you take. Remember, it's important that you tag your resources, because when this scheduler runs, the backup scheduler, if it doesn't see this tag, backup frequency daily, which is really the major thing, then as we have defined it in our CloudFormation template, if it's not tagged, then it's not going to back up the resource. So pretty much that's it. Let me know what you think. CloudFormation templates are cool, allows you to deploy infrastructure as code easily, and we can also do that with Terraform, and I'll probably do a subsequent video. That's all I have. So next time, I wish for you that you learn more about cloud engineering, because I believe that people who get involved in this space will greatly, greatly impact the future. And if that's you, then let's go change the world.